Today we're going to make a meatloaf. It's going to be a meatloaf stuffed with mushrooms and cheese. Going to have a baked potato with it and peas. The baked potato is already in the oven because a baked potato takes about an hour, sometimes even longer, depending on the size of your baked potato. So I've already washed it and put it in the oven, and it's been cooking probably for about 10 minutes right now. The next thing you want to do, well, I've already prepped a gravy that will be cooking with it. That's the gravy. I use mushroom gravy. You can use beef gravy if you don't like mushrooms. I buy 2 packets of this. The gravy is pretty simple to make. If you can follow the directions, you should have it. Hopefully you can follow directions. Next thing to do is cook the mushrooms. The mushrooms cannot go in raw. You can use canned mushrooms if you want. I don't like canned mushrooms myself. Basically, I cook up Basically, I cook up 8 ounces of mushrooms. You cook them first because you want to get the water out of them and you want them pretty much done. So these are going to cook for a few minutes. Typically right around medium setting. I'll put the cover on them, let them get going. Maybe just add a little salt. But remember that the meatloaf is going to be spiced, so you don't need a lot of spice on the mushrooms themselves right now. You're looking just for the texture of the mushrooms and the flavor of the mushrooms. So with that, I'm going to add a pound of ground beef. About a pound of ground beef, give or take. Mine's normally around just a little over a pound. Break it up a little. Add 1 egg. Of course, keep an eye on the mushrooms. In the meatloaf, I don't measure much. It's about, I'd say about 3/4 of a cup of breadcrumbs. Add some ground pepper. I like my pepper, grinding it. Of course, you can always just use already ground pepper. Whoops, there we go. Boy, I'm making a mess today. I add a little bit of ketchup. Probably about 1/4 of a cup of ketchup. Onion powder. Again. Oops. I'd say it's probably about a 1/2 teaspoon. I don't know, I just shake it in. Garlic salt, about the same, maybe it's a teaspoon. I don't really believe in measuring. It's not how I was raised, it wasn't how I was taught how to cook. Lowry seasoning. And a little Worcestershire sauce. Probably about a 1.5 teaspoons of that, and a little steak sauce. Probably about a tablespoon or 2. and a little bit of parsley. Probably about a quarter cup of parsley. And then you just mix it up with your hand. It's all part of having fun, I guess, with cooking. Can't be afraid to get your hands into it and knead it around. You want to knead it until it's pretty well mixed up. The mushrooms, as you can see, are starting to cook down. They're just about ready. I'm going to add some mushrooms into it, and then I'm going to stuff it, and I will show you how. I'm also going to add some cheese. Cheese, it's your choice of what kind of cheese you use. I personally, right now, kind of favor the Mexican blend to put into the meatloaf initially, and I'd say it's probably about a half a cup of cheese, maybe, yeah, about a half a cup. I'll put this in now. I'm going to add more cheese afterwards. This gives it the cheese to just be all through, but I like to be able to have that nice little center area where it will be cheese and mushrooms all together. Mushrooms that are now ready. I'm going to take some of them and mix them in so that they will be throughout the meatloaf. I'd say probably about, I don't know, maybe about a third of the mushrooms that I cooked up will go in. And next, put it in the loaf pan. Make a cavity in the middle. You want to make sure there is meat down at the bottom. You don't want to leave it too, you want to make sure that it's pretty much right out to the outer edges. That way there, you're not going to have somebody with a slice of all just meat. Now I'm going to use extra sharp cheese. I need to wash my hands real quick. I want the beef mixing in. And you try and get everything ready before you do this. Yeah, close enough. Then I'll put a layer down at the bottom of just extra sharp. the mushrooms. And then a little more Mexican blend. Force it down, and now push it out into the sides of it, and then bring the meat right in around it. So that way there, the cheese and the mushrooms are all totally enclosed within the meatloaf. I tuck down on the sides because I'm going to put a gravy in here, and I do want the gravy to get down and around the meatloaf. The gravy, as it's cooking, absorbs into the meatloaf and gives it a little creamier flavor, adds a little bit more texture that I like on it. There won't be much left of this gravy after it's cooked. It's there and it does alright, but if you want gravy for your potatoes and for your and more to put on your meatloaf, I recommend that you make another package, which is what I will be doing while this is cooking. Just before this is ready to come out, or right after it comes out, I'll make up another batch of gravy. So there it is. That's what it looks like going into the oven. And this will cook for about 45 minutes. In the oven it goes. Okay, so that's what it looks like when it's done. That is it, and the after 45 minutes, the potatoes should be done when you can push into them, and they do have give. And so there's my dinner for tonight. Meatloaf stuffed with mushrooms and cheese, baked potato, and peas. Sorry about kind of cutting off half the process, at least where I was mixing it all up and everything, but I think everybody gets the idea. You all should have the idea, and hope you try the recipe and hope you enjoyed the video. Alright, bye.